Okay, well, let's just see. I don't even know if I'm live yet. But if I am, good morning. I'm Bob K6UDA, and hopefully I'm live. I've got, let's see what happened here. Oh yeah, no, wrong screen. Let me, let's just hang out here on this screen. Marshall Law. Oh yeah. Cold water. Cold water had said a little while ago when I asked him about it. What the hell is Title 10? I don't know. For the insurrection of 92. I would say that must be the Rodney King trials. But if I say that, I'm racist. Let's see. Jeff is in the house. After 2 hours of computer update purgatory, I finally got it booted up. Beautiful. Not going to be able to watch today. He has to watch the replay. And let's... good morning, Garrett, my son. The newly minted extra. Let's see.
Yes, sir. I was just doing a little call to check in.
Beautiful. I'm sure Jeff will get you checked in as soon as he gets NetLogger up and running here.
Sounds Bob and 7GRS.
All right, and K6UDA. All right, so you guys on the live stream now, let me know how the radio transmissions are sounding. Are they loud enough for you? Is there enough lack of echo? Too much echo? What's you guys tell me before we start the whole big show? And I might as well jump over into the prepper screen, as I call it here. Anyway, let's see. Oh yeah, with my college textbooks in my rucksack. And Jeff is telling me, yep, I am live. Good morning, Hurricane Preparedness Day in Florida. Wow. Do you guys have a hurricane coming in? I mean, are you expecting one? I haven't heard anything on the news.
I'll check in.
Man, I even heard an echo. So KC3MRX, K6UDA, got you checked in early. Thanks for joining the net. Okay. We'll jump that. And I want to hear radio. That's what I want to hear. I don't need to hear my voice. Let's see. Oh, yeah. Wow. Happy Father's Day to everybody who is a father. Happy Father's Day to me. Sometimes I just feel like a big wallet, but hey, you know, it is what it is. Let's see. We've got 5 nodes. 5 nodes currently hooked up, and I want to say good morning to KD8 IOK node Jeff, who is in the house. KD9 YY node, also in the house. KC3 MRX node, and Lance's KB7SQS repeater here in Twin Falls, Idaho. Man, What a subject. I'm sitting here looking at the screen over here, and which way? That way, right there. I'm afraid to even talk about it. I mean, not that I'm not already on the list, because I think I'm like the number 16 on the list to get shut down. They'll come knocking on my door, I'm sure. It'll be loud and it'll be fast. That's all I got to say. Good morning, everybody from the People's Republic of Michigan. That is the farmer. Probably close to 5,000 cows. Oh, speaking of fives, I am about 500 subscribers away from 45,000. So on YouTube. So if you're watching this on YouTube, and I assume you are because right now it's only on YouTube. We haven't started the radio portion. Please hit the subscribe button if you haven't, and share the video. Share it with your friends who are preparedness minded. Share it with any groups that you're in that are preparedness groups. Let them know that this exists, and that we can all participate, build a big community, and help each other when shit hits the fan. Let's see, network issues. Windows issues today, no radio online yet, and just got the 991A for Father's Day. Thanks, family. From Sean. That's awesome, dude. That is freaking awesome. You know what? It's so nice to get a new radio. Jeff is asking for call signs, and he'll get you all logged in to the net. If you don't have a call sign, just tell him no call sign, and he'll make one up for you. Just to, let's see. Are the gay frogs coming for me today? The gay frogs are in my toilet. They're turning the toilet gay. Oh, crap. You guys kill me. PK6WBJ, the messenger. Man, what an ominous name. That is freaking awesome, dude. Hey, remember, Sasquatch is real. You know, I love the fact that we could just talk about anything and there's no real consequences. I mean, the biggest consequence would be if YouTube shut this down and kicked me off. And then we would go to Rumble. We would, I wouldn't be able to do everything I'm doing here, but you guys let me know. Would you follow me onto Rumble if we started doing this show on Rumble or this live stream? I mean, it would make me feel better. I would love to do that. Even though Rumble, K7CAN, he's only 44,838 away from 45,000. That is freaking awesome, dude. Hey, thanks. I'm about a little over 500. So, already following me on Rumble, says Jeff, awesome. And he would go, so there's one, but Jeff is actually part of the show. So I don't know if you count, my friend. You're almost like Mr. Snurdly in the background. Brian Smith says yes, he would follow over onto Rumble. I would love to try this on Rumble one day and just see how it would work. I mean, +1 for Rumble. Bravo Whiskey. That's awesome. Bravo Whiskey. What a great screen name. Damn it. How cool. All right, we got KD7 VLB. The node has shown up. And you know what? Let's see. We got a couple of minutes. I want to run... I want to thank members. I want to thank my channel members real quick here. You guys... Oops. Let me... that didn't work out so well. Hang on, we'll do it from here. Choose the file. And let's go back here. Oop. Shit, I guess I was muted. But I want to thank you guys. I want to thank my members especially. You guys really kind of set the tone here. It means a lot more to me than the 99 cents or the couple of dollars a month you guys spend. It means that you really care. You care what happens on the channel. You care what happens to the content here. And it gives me a little bit more freedom to say what I want, for us to talk about things that YouTube and Facebook and all the other big platforms, or the other big publishers, I call them, don't want us to talk about. They don't want us to talk about real things. We'll go back over here and oops. What did I do? I did something, and I have no idea what I just did. Camera one, the super chat. We got 1 minute. I got 1 minute to fix this. And I can't. And did it mute me? No, it did not mute me. I have to hang on here. What did I do? Holy shit. What did I do? I got 1 minute. So that's going to be up forever now. I can't believe it. Odyssey and we'll let you talk about anything. Go IMTV. Yeah, I heard about one that is, a fairly new one, or I haven't heard about it before. Oh, where am I going? I got to go to this screen over here and get to the net. And how come the net is not working? Uh-oh. I have a problem. Give me a second here. Refresh Discord. Open screen. I need to secondary display. There it is. Okay. Martial law. Nope. I don't know what I'm doing here. Something's going on. Listen on YouTube and radio. Nice. Bravo Whiskey. Thank you. And I can't get whatever the hell is in the background. I can't get it out. There. No. That's not working. That is not working. There we go. I'm going to blow that out. I'm going to turn the thing off. We're 2 minutes late. Holy crap. All right. Good morning. I'm Bob, K6UDA, and welcome to the Southern Idaho Preparedness Net. This net meets every Saturday morning, 0900 Mountain Time, on the K6UDA repeater located in Twin Falls, Idaho. This is a digital-only net accessible via Wires X Room 40448, the Idaho Command, and on YSF Reflector 56026. That's the YouTuber's YSF Reflector. Also available locally here on the Hanson Butte 2-meter Fusion repeater 145.170. And local hams without a digital radio can also get on via the 442.00 repeater here in analog mode. Purpose of this net is a free exchange of information related to emergency preparedness, commonly known as prepping. We encourage deep dives into subjects related to food, water, shelter, personal protection, weapons, survival tactics, medical issues, and communication gear and techniques. I'm looking for subject matter experts to lead discussions on all these various subjects. If you have material you'd like to present or discuss, please indicate that when you check in. Although not primarily political, discussion of relative political, cultural, or religious events are welcome in the context of situational awareness and survival. In order to give everybody an opportunity to be heard, we're going to do check-ins in the following order. Local repeater check-ins. So if you're on one of the local repeaters here, I'll ask for those. Then Wires X check-ins. If you're on a Wires X node anywhere, your own node or one of the now 7 nodes hooked up, you could get on when I call for Wires X. And then third, YSF check-ins. When I call for YSF check-ins, I will. That's your cue. And then Jeff, KD8IOK, will get to some of the live stream comments, and hopefully his radio's up and running. Let's see. You're encouraged to check in with your first name, call sign, location, and how you're getting into the net, i.e., local repeater, Wires X, or YSF. That being said, do we have any local repeater check-ins?
KV7SQS, Lance, Twin Falls, on the 444600 analog.
All right, Lance, thanks for checking in. Any other local check-ins? All right, how about Wires X? Wires X check-ins.
KK7SKY, Buffalo Twin Falls, on my Yaesu. On Wires X.
All right, first, Sean, KK7 SKY, on. Did you say you were on your own PDN, or did you get on something else, on somebody else's?
I just hit the X button on my FT2D and got on, and it's Skylar.
Beautiful, beautiful. Well, welcome to the net, and thanks for being part. And the second one, I didn't copy the call sign.
Did you get KD7VLB?
I got you now. KD7VLB, good morning, and welcome to the net.
KD8IOK, Wires X, Tawas City, Michigan.
All right, KD8IOK. Jeff, welcome to the net, and for everybody else on the live stream side, you could funnel your comments and questions through Jeff on the comments. Any other Wires X check-ins?
KF0 OHU, Sean from Fridley, Minnesota.
All right, KF0 OHU, Sean, good to have you. Thanks for being part of the net. Any other Wires X? All right, how about YSF check-ins?
KN6 EVQ, Mark, in Patterson, California.
All right, KN6 EVQ, Mark, thanks for checking in California. Any other YSF check-ins? YSF. Okay, looks like we got a kind of a small crowd here on the radio. Hey, it's summertime. There's probably a lot of stuff going on. According to Jeff, we've got 32 people watching and 18 thumbs up. So please give us a thumbs up and let us know you're liking the show so far. Let's see. Sit reps. Do we have anybody that has any sit reps? I didn't put anything together today. Well, off the cuff, two big sit reps that I have. The Supreme Court and a federal court have pretty much undone things done by the ATF. Let's see. The Supreme Court ruled the bump stock ban. That was a Trump era ban was unconstitutional and vacated that entire rule. So no more bump stock ban. They deemed that a bump stock is not a machine gun. And I imagine that's going to go for some of those triggers like the FRT triggers. Also, on the same note, the fifth, I believe it was the Fifth Circuit, ruled or vacated the pistol brace rule. And so your pistol brace equipped ARs are once again 100% legal. So enjoy those, my friends. Does anybody else have any sit reps?
Okay.
Jeff, go ahead.
Yeah, coming in from YouTube, CUCV Farmer reminded me that Saudi Arabia let the 50-year agreement to sell oil in Federal Reserve notes expire. And Democrats are going to introduce a bill to not allow bump stocks to be sold in the People's Republic of Michigan. Haven't heard that one, so I guess I better get my order in right away.
Yes, Saudi Arabia is now divesting of the petrodollar. If you guys haven't heard about what the petrodollar is, that's what pretty much makes us the reserve currency of the world. Guys, it's going to get very, very spicy in the next few months as all these other countries start divesting of U.S. bonds, treasuries, and cash. And if Saudi Arabia decides they want to go with the yuan or some other, the ruble or some other currency to buy oil, we will then have to buy that currency in order to buy oil from OPEC. Interesting stuff, my friends. Yeah. And get your, if you're in Michigan, get your orders in for a bump stock if you want one. Any other sit reps? All right, currently 7 nodes on the net this morning, and let's see how many people we got. 38 people, 25 thumbs up. Let's increase that a little bit. I'd like to get 38 thumbs up. That would be kind of cool. All right, so the main topic today that we're going to talk about is the realities of martial law. This is kind of a scary topic because, man, they could do a lot of stuff. I'll start out with what they can do to us, and then there's a couple of limitations of what they can't do. Just a couple, though. And this is K6GDA for the Southern Idaho Preparedness Net. Let's see. Starting off, number 1, the military can suspend habeas corpus under martial law. Suspending habeas corpus means they can arrest you and detain you without charges for not indefinitely, but for a fairly long period of time if they believe that you are a threat to national security. And they could basically, if they open up the FEMA camps, they can detain you. Well, they detained people from January 6th and they didn't declare martial law, they've detained a lot of those people for years, and without charge, without a trial, and without giving them their rights. I don't know how that's going to go over in the end. Okay, let's see if I'm back up. Okay, they can control the media and communication. So the military or the government has the ability to take over or shut down any and all media companies, social media platforms, publishers of magazines, books, whatever, and the internet. They can take over the internet. They could commandeer businesses. The military can take over and repurpose both small and large businesses for state purposes. So, which means that they could, they could take over Microsoft if they wanted, and turn Microsoft into a cyber weapons building organization. They could take over a grocery store and divvy up supplies as they see fit. They can control public services such as hospitals, utility services, emergency services, the EOC, your local EOC, and they can control and repurpose any public infrastructure to serve the needs of the state. Now we get to the fun ones. The military can seize personal property. That means that under martial law, they can take items that they need to and redistribute them to areas or people they deem are in need. That means your food supplies, your medical equipment, tactical gear, your radios, other supplies, and other property, including your vehicles. It really brings up the public good versus personal rights. And we have always been a country of personal rights unless there's extreme need and extreme circumstances. So that brings me to a couple of questions that I've got for the net. Number one, can we and how do we hide some of the supplies that we need to survive? And I'll ask the radio side. Do anybody want to chime in? Do you have any ideas? I've got a couple of ideas. You could bury some of your supplies. I don't know how. You can move them around, disguise them. I would think if you marked some of them as tainted or made them look as if they're tainted, the government isn't going to want to put their hands on tainted food or tainted medical supplies. Does anybody on the radio side have any ideas? Wow. I know around here there's a lot of guys that are at a fox hunt right now. A ham radio fox hunt, not a literal fox hunt. So there's a lot of guys around here that might not be on the radio right now or might not be listening. Jeff, do we have any comments on that? Any questions or ideas?
KD8IOK. No, we do not. My suspicion is people may not be eager to share their secrets. I'll answer your questions myself, and that is, can we hide things? My answer would be, I would not think legally. Will we? We'd certainly try. And how? I, like you, kind of really don't have any idea. I'm thinking disguising things, sometimes hiding things in plain sight. Good ideas that I got from a book, The Disaster Ready Home by Creek Stewart. He talked about hiding like cases of water underneath sheets or blankets to use as legs for a coffee table, things like that. So it's right out in plain sight in your living room, but not easily seen unless they're truly going in and searching like they feel they have a reason to search your house. Obviously, in a case of martial law, my thoughts are they're not really going to need a search warrant to come in and do that. And who are you going to argue it to anyway? So, but as far as on the chat side, no, there's no comments yet.
Okay. Yeah. And this is K6UDA for the Southern Idaho Preparedness Net. I've got the same questions. You know, can you hide things in plain sight? Can you, or is it? It's always feasible if you've got enough money and ingenuity, or resources. For the average person, though, is it feasible? I don't know. You know, these are things that you need to start thinking about if you haven't been thinking about it. Let's see. Moving on. Things that the military and or the government can do. They can enforce military trials. Military tribunals can replace civilian courts for certain crimes, which means your right to a fair trial, a trial in front of your jury of your peers, can go away. But not for everything. Tribunals can replace courts for certain crimes. They have to deem those crimes or those issues too sensitive or too urgent for the civilian courts to handle. Now, there is a limitation. Civilians, you and I, cannot be tried by a military court if the civilian courts are still operational. So this is done to ensure the military authority doesn't completely override civil rights. Now, is that going to happen, or can the military shut down civilian courts? I think if they wanted to, they very well could. That is something that, that worries me. Other things that the military can do. They can deploy the military in U.S. cities. You think Hurricane Katrina. They instituted martial law, and they sent the military in to do civilian law enforcement under martial law. It was fairly limited, and they did have civilian law enforcement with them. I don't know really who was in charge, if the military was in charge or if the civilian law enforcement was in charge. The military can confiscate firearms. Again, think of Hurricane Katrina. We watched on TV as military and civilian law enforcement just flat out took people's guns. The only thing they had to protect themselves if they didn't want to go into a FEMA camp. And I come back to you guys and ask you again, any ideas on hiding or preserving some or all of your firearms and ammo? I'll ask the radio. Anybody on the radio?
AK7SDY, this is Tyler. I would suggest not keeping everything in one place. I personally have one in the truck, a couple down in the bedroom, several in the safe, a couple out in the shop, some out in my shed, and yeah, just don't keep them all in one place.
Yeah, definitely. I kind of subscribe to the same theory of don't keep them all locked up in one place. But in the case of, say, the military coming in and searching your premises and taking your food, your radios, your stuff, they would most likely search other areas of your house and your property. So one of my suggestions is to hide some stuff not on your property. Hide it where you know where it is, and the likelihood of anybody else finding it are very, very remote. That would be my only advice on that. Moving on. The military can and often does impose curfews. They do this in order to reduce the risk of civil unrest and give the authorities more control over a city or an area. Now here's another big one here. They can restrict free speech. I'm going to let it drop. The military or the government has the ability to shut down the internet, shut down social media sites. They could shut down cell phone service. They could suspend ham radio and GMRS licenses. They can control broadcast media. They do this in order to reduce what they call misinformation and maintain order. In World War II, the U.S. suspended all ham radio licenses, and so ham radio went away during World War II. And I'm going to ask again, if ham radio licenses are suspended, if the internet and cell services are shut off, how are we going to communicate? That's the purpose of this whole net, is to talk about things like this. How are we going to communicate? How are we going to get our news? How are we going to get our situation reports? Are we going to do things like pirate radio, power to the resistance radio, things like running on super low power on your handhelds? So maybe you're heard for a couple of blocks or a couple of 100 feet, as opposed to going out all over a city or all over an area. We've all heard these stories about what's happening in the Ukraine right now, where guys are firing up their Bofang, and as soon as they hit the transmit button, they get shelled. because they're so good at geolocating radio signals. But if they can't hear that radio signal, they can't find you, and they can't do whatever they're gonna do. Meshtastic, and I'm just now starting to really, well, I'm not even really learning about it yet. I'm getting an interest in it, and I'm trying to get a couple of guys here locally to teach me about Meshtastic. And it's, as far as I know, it is a self-healing mesh network that's very decentralized. So almost impossible to shut the whole thing down. And then there's things like JS8 Call, which I think is a great way, very innocuous way to get out information to an audience, or to your friends, your family, and it doesn't. It's like I said, it's pretty innocuous to the casual listener. Let's see. I see some comments here. I'm going to turn it over to Jeff, KD8IOK, to put some of those up.
KD8IOK. Yeah, I got a few. So going back a little bit, when you said any suggestions on how to hide things and whatnot, when it comes to radios, radio communications, Gene McPhee had a suggestion that we all should be looking into stealth antennas on our property so that we're not drawing attention to ourselves, excuse me, as potential broadcasters. Great idea. Couldn't agree more. Steelwolf 13 said, if you served in the military, you're technically subject to the UCMJ in perpetuity, that they just have to reactivate you verbally on the spot. I believe that's sort of true. I think you have to be a member of the IRR, which is the Individual Ready Reserve list, in order for that to happen. And in certain circumstances, if you are a retired veteran, not just a discharge, but a retired veteran that served your whole career there, then they can reactivate retirees. But again, only certain circumstances, which I would assume a martial law situation would qualify. Steelwolf 13 also suggested with hiding stuff, maybe in the shed walls in the backyard, put a little something in each wall, especially if you finish off the walls. Kind of like the olden days when Grandma and Grandpa used to stuff money inside the walls when they would do additions or other upgrades in the home. And then Load Smart was agreeing with you, and I was as well with Meshtastic. I do think that being a somewhat non-regulated communications mechanism, that is absolutely the way to go. And look forward to testing it when my stuff finally comes.
Yeah, very good. Great ideas. Great ideas. Yeah, Mika Wolf also says here, keeping your stuff Experian date. Well, it's still good. A lot of stuff, the expired dates on them, other than fresh fruit, dairy products, fish and meat, those expire dates are a suggestion, and they have to put it on food stuff in the U.S. or they can't sell it. But generally, stuff can be good for actually years past their expiration dates. Let's see. Now we get to the few things that the government or the military cannot do to you or with you in martial law. And this is K6UDA for the Southern Idaho Preparedness Net. Let's see. The government cannot operate as law enforcement without limitation. Posse Comitatus in the United States says that the military can only assist civilian law enforcement under certain extreme circumstances, and that's anywhere in the USA. So they cannot just take over and say, "Hey, we're the law enforcement now." They cannot try civilians in military tribunals if civilian courts are operational. This is a U.S. Supreme Court called Ex parte Milligan versus the U.S. This is from 1866, right after the Civil War, or during the Civil War. So that is that law, or that case law, still applies today. Now here's one that's more functional than practical. They cannot implement nationwide martial law. The reason they can't do that is the resources needed to implement nationwide martial law are just not feasible. We've got roughly 1 million or so members of the U.S. military and National Guard. There just isn't the resources for them to do their jobs. There isn't enough personnel for them to do that in on a nationwide basis at the same time. What is more likely is they're going to implement martial law in certain cities, let's say New York, Philadelphia, Detroit, San Francisco, LA, big cities that have a lot of potential to have issues. And smaller regions, smaller cities, especially if they're not going through a lot of internal strife or there's not civil unrest in smaller communities, would not be under martial law. Let's see. And the final thing that they cannot do is they cannot eliminate the right to a speedy trial indefinitely or completely. You still have the right to a speedy trial as long as there's a court system, a civilian court system that is working. Now, has the federal government done things? Yeah, they've taken, there's still detainees. 30 or 40 detainees are still at Guantanamo Bay. They have been deemed so bad, so dangerous, that those guys will probably never see the light of day. They've never been charged in a court. They've never had their day in front of a judge or a jury, and they probably won't. But Guantanamo is, number one, not in the United States. And number two, these guys have been, they've been deemed terrorists. So anyway, that's the list as I have it. Do we have any comments on the radio side? Well, do we have any comments on the YouTube side, Jeff?
KDI, okay. Let's see. Mika Wolf states that the U.S. government's not allowed on reservations. Last time that they tried to do that in New York, there was a standoff, and the U.S. government lost. Bryce Mobley asks if you could perhaps share your notes on martial law, and I just kind of voiced my opinion on the whole reactivating veterans. I could only see that happening if this country was under attack. I don't think if the civil unrest were like, we'll say, a civil war or revolution amongst ourselves, I don't see where it would be beneficial for the government to reactivate veterans based on the fact that you don't know which side they stand for. And just because you're reactivated doesn't mean that you're going to stand with the government if you're firmly against them. And also some other things I think that would take into account is age, health concerns. Activating somebody that's got severe health concerns really isn't going to benefit anybody, the government or the person being activated. So, and then the last thing that I said was that you know, in all honesty, if this country was under attack, most veterans would probably volunteer to step in and help. Although these generations are not quite like those of our ancestors, and I could see that the younger generation would be less likely to step in and help. But that's just, those are my 2 cents and comments from others on YouTube so far.
All right. Very cool. Very cool. Thank you. Bryce, I will post my notes in the description on the YouTube thing. I will also post this file or the video on Rumble. Less chance of it getting taken down on Rumble, and I'm going to go back through the show notes here or the comments and try to see some of these other sites. It's good to have alternatives, even if they're not getting the views. Obviously, I get more views on YouTube than anything else for any of these videos. And, that's another thing that I want to bring up real quickly here. I'll let it drop. And this is K6UDA for the Southern Idaho Preparedness Net. Since I started doing the Southern Idaho Preparedness Net on Saturdays and kind of bringing a lot more preparedness issues onto my normal YouTube channel, there has been a dramatic decrease in the amount of views for a lot of these videos. And like on these Saturday morning things, a lot of them I don't monetize. Like I wouldn't even try to monetize this today. I just don't want YouTube in my business that much, or I don't want them in our business that much. But I do want the views because the views still help, and I need your help. If you guys have other groups somewhere else, Facebook groups for preparedness or something like that, please share these videos with those groups and leave a comment. The more views, the better off. The more it forces YouTube to show the videos or to recommend them to other people, and that's the name of the game here. And I know a lot of this on the radio is geared toward the the Idaho area, the Magic Valley, Idaho area, because that's my community. But anyway, that's really all I've got. Does anybody have anything else? Anybody on the radio side have any final comments?
KC3MRX. Steve from Texas.
KC3MRX. Steve, go ahead.
Bob, I just wanted to let you know I appreciate you running the net and having a radio side on it. I don't always get a chance to get on here, but with originally from Pennsylvania, now I'm down here in Texas somewhat permanently. My wife's getting treatment down here, and I had to move the whole shack into the RV. I've come to realize that you have to be a little bit mobile in your whole lifestyle and have to be able to go with the flow. So I do try to get up in the mornings and Saturday mornings here and turn you on YouTube and listen to you on the radio. And I don't say too much or comment too much here on YouTube, but I just want to let you know I do listen. So thanks again for running the net.
Steve, thanks for being part of the net and listening. And I appreciate everybody that does listen. I know if you're not commenting on YouTube and you're not keying up and checking in on the radio, I don't know how many people are actually in the shadows listening, and that's okay. You know what? If I'm talking to one person and I'm helping one person think about these things and get their preparedness game going, I think I've done what the Lord has told me to do. Any other comments, questions, net suggestions, anything else before we go ahead and call this one a net?
KD8IOK, I've got a quick question.
Yeah, Jeff, go ahead.
Didn't touch on it in the sit rep portion, and I was going to leave it up to you since it's your area and I don't know much about it, but I'm curious if there's any new news or what's going on with the water supply shutdown there in your area with the 500,000 acres and farm fields that are going to suffer from it.
Well, like everything else, it's a little bit more complicated than what some people might have heard. We have a thing called water rights here in Idaho, and here in the Magic Valley in the Twin Falls area, we have what are called senior water rights. And in eastern Idaho, they have junior water rights. Well, some of these big farms they bought more farmland and they're splitting, or they're trying to use their water rights on new pieces of land, which does deplete the aquifers. And so guys or farmers here in southern Idaho are affected or could be affected in low water years. Now, why they did it this year when we've got plenty of water and they're telling these guys to shut it off does not make sense. And it doesn't make sense why they waited to do this until after everybody has planted their crops and they've got thousands of dollars already invested. They could have let those lands go unplanted, but now that they're planted and they're already underway, there's a huge investment in them. I don't agree with the way the government, the state government, went about this, and I'm not sure I agree with the whole thing. I personally think this has more to do with affecting the food supply for the rest of the country. I don't know. And that's I'm not an expert in that field. I watch some of the news. I talk to some of the farmers here, and I know some of the big farmers in this area. Those were their concerns. Were in the lean water years, the aquifers were getting affected down south here from the eastern side. And then these guys here have senior water rights. So that's all I know. Does that answer your question at all?
Yeah, absolutely. I just it's on the national news and it keeps popping up all the way over here in Michigan, and I could imagine that the repercussions of that would be mighty, and agree on the food supply. I don't know why they would want to deliberately try to starve out the country, but I was just curious if you had insight being local. So thank you for the answer.
Hey, you're welcome. I don't know how much good that does. But I do think that controlling the food supply, you control the population. It's kind of like they try to control everything else. You've got all these fires at food processing plants over the past few years. Lots of things, I think that they're doing to affect the food supply, the water supply. They've been doing it for years in California with their water emergencies. And you just go into the Central Valley in California and you look at unbelievable devastation because they won't let them water. Let's see. Any other questions, comments, suggestions? And then I'm going to close the net. Okay, with that, I'm going to go ahead and close the net. Next week, I'm not sure yet if we're going to be able to do a net or if I'm going to be able to do a net because it's field day, and we're kind of doing a field day over here out in the pasture. So I may be a little bit busy, and I don't even know what we would talk about. Again, especially for those on the live stream, if you haven't been to a field day yet, you need to go. Especially if you haven't operated HF, it's a great learning opportunity. Anyway, with that, I am gonna say 7-3, guys. I am Bob K6UDA. I'm going to close the net and return all the repeaters and nodes to their normal operation. 7-3 all. Okay. Now, let me turn off. Let me turn that off. And Hey, good to see everybody else over here. Oh, the comments never showed up on the whole net. Damn it. That was what I was afraid of. I can't figure out what the problem is here. Maybe. Oh, I just had to press a button, and I didn't press the button. Sorry about that, guys. I thought everything was going to show up here, and it didn't. My bad. Yeah, field day. Let's talk about field day for a few. I think I'm not going to jump onto Discord today because I got a lot of stuff that I've got to get going here. But let's see. Cannabis. Miko Wolf says cannabis farmer is getting their water supply. The food crop, you're getting your water supply. It's all about drugs, controlling people's minds. Yeah, I think so. That is completely true. Field day here in the Magic Valley. I'm expecting kind of a small turnout, to be honest. I haven't put a whole lot of planning and thought into this year. Last year was a little disappointing. And I'm always looking for ways to increase a field day turnout and doing things that are fun. So, can I link the field day info in here, please? Yeah. The SIG 229. Where are you looking for field day? What area? Let me know here in the comments. I'll stay on here and we'll do this kind of. And if you guys have a radio and you're hooked in here, either on the Idaho or on Wires X or YSF, you're more than welcome to ask your questions, and we could just kind of do the BS thing right here. I don't know why I never thought of that before. Yeah. Let's see. 21 logged in today. That's not bad. Not bad, Jeff. I think we did pretty good for me not being on the ball. I had so much shit going on this week. I had my main irrigation pump. Well, all the pipes exploded on me. It was a freaking mess the other day. So that was 2 days of me cutting pipe and rebuilding stuff. And so, well, it's done. It's working again. But I had a big mess with that. I had some other things. There's always stuff going on here at the ranch. So I am always looking for, let's see, why did that come back up? 4 nodes hooked up here. We got the usual 4, except my buddy Bob 2, N6 EMS. His node is off. He kind of took a new job, and so he's traveling back and forth. Let's see. Gene is still here. Got room. Maybe I'll fly in for field day. Oh yeah, dude, yes, fly in for field day. I've got plenty of room here. So that would be bitchin'. If you're here in the Magic Valley and you're watching, or if you're anywhere in Idaho or northern Nevada, the Jackpot area, and you want to come over here and do field day from Studio B, you are more than welcome. Send me an email. I'll give you the address, and you could jump in. That would be kind of bitching. Jeff, then if we did the net, we would have to figure out, we'd have to have 2 cameras and 2 mics, and you would just kind of be Mr. Snurdly here in Studio A. That would be bitching. Pamela is in the house. Good to see you, my friend. Thank you for always being there and doing what you do. Thank you all for being there and doing what you do. Like I said before, please share these videos. Go back on, watch the live stream after the live stream. Only if I do a net. Okay, if you show up, my friend, I will do a net. But you got to be on it too. So, yeah. There you go. Let's see. I don't know what else. What'd you guys think of the topic today? I know it was kind of short. There wasn't a whole lot of audience participation. I always get really good stuff over on YouTube in the comments, man. You guys rock it. And not so much on the radio side. And I don't know if it's because guys are afraid. And I get it, man. You got your call sign out there. Your personal information is out there. And here, at least on YouTube, a lot of you guys, you've got you got a handle, and you're not as easily found out. I guess there's still a stigma about being in this whole preparedness game, which is kind of funny because, actually I guess the cover of QST, and I'm going to jump back over here. The cover of oh no, hang on. Let me jump over here. I want to see. The cover of QST magazine this month is it says all about preparedness. Let's see. ARRL. We'll see if they've got a picture of it. There was a guy who posted it on one of the forums, and oh my Lord. Use a PO box. Yeah, I use a PO box for everything. So I don't use my address for hardly anything. Read the current issue. Let's see if it even pulls it up. Even pulls a picture of it up. Ah. Nope. It ain't gonna let me. They got that paywall pretty well locked down. You see, they don't even give you a preview of what it looks like. Isn't that interesting? Yeah, man, that's too bad. And go back here. Go back to my camera. Let's see. I agree with the P.O. box for the license, but for me, it's too late. Here's the thing. Even I'm not as worried about bad guys figuring out where I live. I live in a small town. I'm pretty well protected here. I've got good backup. I'm always carrying or within arm's reach of something, protection wise. I've got a great video system around here. All four corners of the property, man. Everything is covered here. So, and anybody comes around here, and I get notifications. And I got a ton of notifications on there right now. Let's see. Pamela says it's been, you know what? Hang on here. Let me move this over. I'm going to move this over here so I could see the, see that? And, you can, yeah. I'm violating terms of service right now. Mrs. K6UDA is running around with her music. Pamela, been working in the garden before it gets too hot. 92 to 94 for the high today. Whew. Yeah. You know, before long, it's probably going to be that here. Yesterday, I think it was like 87. To hide stuff, use a 250 or 300 gallon totes, septic tanks. Buy them totes. They're watertight. Yeah, I had done that with a buddy. We went to a remote property that he had in California, and we took a I think it was a 600 gallon septic tank, 500 or 600 gallon septic tank. We buried it. We made a false hatch in the middle of nowhere. I mean, literally in the middle of nowhere. Crawled in. You're able to crawl in, and we set up little compartments, and we had food parked in there. We had other stuff. We had pews parked in there. All kinds of cool stuff. But sadly, all that's gone. And I don't have that anymore. Let's see. CUCV Farmer. He has a P.O. box for his GMRS license. I have a P.O. box for...
JAB7SQS.
I have a... Hey, Lance. What's happening? K6UDA.
Not much. For the most part, your YSF was pretty good. I mean, it could be better, but it wasn't too bad.
Ah, good. Well, you sounded good when you were in there. I think maybe, you know, when I'm live streaming and I get a lot of bandwidth going, it might get a little froggy from now and again.
Yeah, for the most part, though, I would say it's a win. So, did I hear you say you're having field day at your house again? If so, glutton for punishment.
I know. Come on by. I think it's going to be small. It's going to be pretty casual. We're going to have. I'm going to try to make it as good a time for my buddies as I can.
Alright, well, maybe I'll bring out my new side-by-side so you can check it out, or my new bicycle. I got me one of these electric bikes, a fat tire. Man, that thing is fun to ride.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I'd love to see that. All right. Hey, I'm just wrapping up the live stream here. So let me. I'll give you a shout on the radio in a few. K6UDA.
Alrighty, we'll catch you a little later. KB7 SQS.
Okay. So that's, man, you see, just being able to do that, having guys locally here jump on and get in there. The SIG says, me too. What? Okay. So the SIG, where are you at? What's your location or your general area? And R.W. Prescott, new listener, KF8 BDH. Good to see you, my friend. Thanks for jumping in there. Ask you how much money you could throw at them before they get rid of it. How much money you could throw at... you know what? That's the thing. I get into these... You guys are halfway through a conversation, and then I pick up one little thing. The SIG 229 is in Twin, just around the corner. You don't want to put your call sign out, do you? Beautiful. Yes, you are absolutely invited. As a matter of fact, I'm going to send out an email on the MVARC reflector, and you are 100% invited to field day. I would love to have as many local guys as I can get, and friends from out of town. I'm good. I'm all good. I'm in control, baby. Anyway, let's see. Yeah, if Jeff shows up to field day, we're definitely doing a net. We'll break off and definitely do the net. Otherwise, I may be busy setting up. I don't know. There's even when you try to make it small and casual, there's a lot of setup. There really is. I've got to, because I've got to move everything out of the shop. Studio B is a small 10 by 10 room inside my shop, and that's the main ham shack. If I'm going to go operate a, what's the closest major airport? You could fly right here into Twin Falls, Jeff. It is literally 3.5 miles from the house. I can come get you. The major airport, you could fly into Boise, or you could fly into Salt Lake City. Salt Lake City is about 2.5 hours away. Boise is about 1.5 hours away. So, up to you. But, Sean, okay. You're SKY. Very, very cool. All right. Yeah. I will definitely, Sean, I will definitely get you the address, and then looking forward to seeing you here on field day. Mika Wolf, unfortunately, you can have a P.O. box when you get a P.O. box. They get to know your address where you live, and still get it to the federal government. Yeah. Yep. The government is going to know where you live, or they're going to be able to find out. Unless you're Ted Kaczynski and you're in a hut in the middle of the forest. Yep. I'm looking at it. Wife is looking at me like, really? Dude, that's freaking awesome. That is awesome. Very, very cool. So, let's see. I'll go back to the screen here, and we'll move that over so you guys could see it a little bit. And I'll position that back up. So what did you guys think of the martial law special? It's not a special. It's a net. Anybody have anything now that we're kind of an intimate little group? Anything I didn't cover? Anything I should cover? Let's see. Shell will be out of town anyway. Well, so then why make your husband suffer? If you're going to be out of town, let him go where he wants and spend field day, the ham radio holiday, how he wants to. Make him happy. Because tomorrow's Father's Day. So it'll be like a week delayed. Father's Day present. Happy Father's Day, Jeff. Happy Father's Day to everybody else out there. Man. I don't know. I don't know what else. Anybody else got anything going on? Anything good for today? I think the wife wants to go for a little putt-putt. So we may go out and visit City of Rocks or something. There's so many things to do here. Places to go, things to see. The net made me think, and I want to do more research on it. Nice. That's exactly what the net is supposed to do. It's supposed to get you thinking. It's supposed to make you want to research a few things and maybe make you want to get off your ass and do a little bit or rethink your strategy. Definitely when people say things here, it makes me rethink mine. If martial law, is FEMA in charge and not the government? No. If martial law is declared, the military takes over. The military, the government still is in place. The Congress is still in place. The president is still there. The military becomes the enforcement branch of the government. FEMA doesn't really have any enforcement authority. Number one, they don't have any enforcement power. So the military has to be the enforcement arm. FEMA is just their managers. So they'll do some stuff. Let's see. Kitty had okay. She said she'll be out of town. Not will be out of town. Nice. See that? Shadow Bear. Idaho Fluke. Do I use the Intermountain Intertie linked repeater system? I do every once in a while. I've got it plugged in. I'll turn it on. It's usually very quiet. And usually on my FTM 400 over here in the background here, we'll move over to here. Nope, wrong screen. This one, FTM 400 over here. Normally, I keep the K6UDA repeater up. That's always on. And then the bottom, the B side here, I switch that over. And like right now, it's on 146.52. That's because I knew it would be quiet. Normally, I've got that on... So now that's on the 44200, and it's going to make a lot of noise. But that is the Coffee Break Net out in Auburn, California. I listen to that pretty much every morning. So, but yes, there it is right there. There's the intertie. On the B side, 145-270. So if you're on the intertie right now, go ahead and key up, and I'll say hi. I don't see anything and don't hear anything. K6UDA monitoring Twin Falls, Idaho. So yes, I am on the intertie. There it is. Happy Father's Day. Teach your children well. From Mika Wolf. Using that to my advantage. If martial law has been declared, there is no... last station. I didn't copy the call sign. Okay. Somebody in Yellowstone. If martial law has been declared, there is no Constitution, no Bill of Rights. No, that is not true. There still is a Constitution. There still is a Bill of Rights. Most of that Bill of Rights is suspended, but it can only be suspended for a definite period of time, or during an extreme emergency. Congress, the president has the authority to declare martial law. A governor KJ7LUD, K6UDA on the intertie.
Yes, I won't interrupt you. I just wanted to say hello, and this is Idaho taking you back to West Yellowstone, Montana.
Oh, fantastic. Good to hear you. Good to talk to you. I'm normally not on the intertie, but I am right now. So, hey, 7-3. Good to talk to you. K6UDA. So, the Bill of Rights, most of it gets suspended. There are a few things that don't get suspended. That was so the government can't take over as a dictatorship. And that was kind of carved in stone. Now, does it mean that they won't take over and they won't make it permanent? It depends. If the government has all the guns, yeah, they'll make it permanent. They would, then they could do anything they want. If the government doesn't have our guns, it means the government still has something to fear. That's a big thing. To me, that is a huge, ow, my toe, stubbed my toe again. That's a huge, huge thing. That's why the Japanese didn't invade the U.S. mainland, because according to their senior general, it was, there would be a gun behind every blade of grass. And that is still true today. I don't even think, Joe Biden with his, you need a F-15 to wage an insurrection. You don't. We brought to bear everything we did for 20 years in Afghanistan, and who won in the end? They waited us out. We let them win. I mean, we could have leveled the place, absolute 100% destruction, and but we didn't. And I don't know if our military would follow those instructions or those orders to absolutely level cities and areas. I don't know. I would hope they wouldn't. Let's see. Martial law no longer existed. Do you have family members on law enforcement too? Look who we got for a president. Yeah, I agree. I agree. You're going to off me either ways. The SIG. You're going to off me either way, so it'll be a cold pile. Yeah, that's how I feel. It's going to be quick. It's going to be loud. If you're here to take all my food and all my stuff, all my groceries and my Band-Aids and my bullets, you better be, you're going to level the place, and then you're going to get nothing. And hopefully, when you come here and you level this place, everybody else around takes notice and decides they've had enough. And I think that would eventually happen. Don't know. It's a scary thing, and I don't know what to make of it. Anyway, guys, so we've been on for another half an hour afterwards. Been an hour and a half. Did the stream die for anyone else? We actually are still on, as far as I know. 19 people currently on the stream, 40 thumbs up. And I want to thank you guys for being part of the stream, part of the net. You're just this side of the net is just as important, and I think I get more feedback from you guys, obviously, than I do on the radio side. Yeah, Pamela, I'm hoping to get on board with the whole Meshtastic thing over here. I know there's some guys locally that are playing with it, and I want to start playing with it with them. Anyway, guys, I think that's it. I'm gonna jump out. We've been on for an hour and 45 minutes. Wow, been a long one. Okay, Anybody got anything final? Really quick? If not, I'm going to say 7-3, my friends. And if Jeff shows up out here, we're going to be on and do a net. I don't know. We'll probably do a field day special. Maybe I'll do that anyway. Maybe I'll do a field day special. We'll just kind of talk about field day, what it is, why you want to do it. So anyway, 7-3, my friends. I'm Bob K6UDA. I'm out of here. 7-3. And we're out. Maybe.